Hello everyone and welcome to Tech Talk, where we talk about everything that, I don't know, you can put batteries in or plug it in.
Yeah, you're right. It's just about anything that does electric or batteries, like you said, but
Yeah.
everything else too, as far as security to how social media may be affecting technology or affecting you, or heaven forbid somebody's following you or tracking you that you don't realize. So, yeah.
I'll go for the unplugged world.
Unplugged world, yeah,
Unplugged
there you
world.
go.
That's we'll throw wireless in on the
Oh,
pile,
yeah.
like that.
I'll give you that. That's for sure. But what do we got today? We've got lots of, Kingsley, you've got lots of pages of news, but we were talking.
I take this way too seriously, and I download all of the news for the month prior to our show. And the newsletter that I use is the SANS Technology Group, and they're really technical folks. And I had 35 pages of news, which is not what we're going to cover. You know, we'll start off with some things here. How about some local things in the news for Ohio? I don't know if anybody had caught this, but Foxconn had negotiated with Wisconsin, where our Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, is, and negotiated for a Foxconn plant. And that same sort of discussion is taking place here in Ohio. And what that would mean is that we would have an assembly facility for devices such as, you know, iPads and phones and things like that. So that would mean some jobs. Yeah. We'll have to see what the pay is for those assembly jobs, because of course overseas they are not getting a living wage that would be acceptable here in this country.
But some of that problem has been that people don't have the skills to do those jobs here. And so they had it done there. So it's not exactly unskilled labor.
No. And the other one I heard was about Facebook. Facebook is moving into Ohio and New Albany, outside of Columbus, on the northeast side, with a $750 million data center. And that just goes to show that there is so much data going through these social networking sites that they have to distribute their data centers closer to where users are. And I know for our campus here at the University of Rio Grande, we connect to the internet and it goes up to the State of Ohio network, and they have to put a caching Google server up there, Netflix server, so that we're not going all the way back to the Netflix mothership in Chicago or back out to wherever Google's data centers are. And I've lost track in my head of a map of where all the networks interconnect, to call it the internet, and where these big data centers are.
Isn't there another one on the west side of Columbus? Is it Amazon or?
Amazon Web Services, and Amazon, has a big data center there, and hoorah for the state of Ohio for bringing in those types of jobs and those types of technologies. It just goes to support our the Third Frontier initiatives for technology. Really good stuff there.
It's always good to bring jobs in, that's for sure, whether it's tech or other jobs. But in some facts, you could be bringing in jobs that are, whether they're building tractors, that's going to be tech people too that have to come in and do jobs. So there's going to be tech in just about every business that comes in here anyway.
Right.
So.
Well, the spin-off effect of that is that when you have a company that builds out a data center, those communications companies that put in fiber build out into that area. And I don't think New Albany is lacking in connectivity.
Right.
But anytime those types of moves are made, that pushes broadband connectivity out further to the end users. And ORNet, the State of Ohio Network, Ohio Academic Research Network, they put in their own fiber, and then that now has connected all of the extension offices. So now you're connected back to the State of Ohio, and all the schools are, and they would probably go straight over to New Albany and say, can we have 200 gig connections straight into Facebook's data center? Because you're going to want to come straight to us so that we can get to all the college campuses.
Right.
To all those extension offices where you provide wireless.
And then they all go through the NSA before they get there, right?
Well, that's just a little detour. out.
Yeah, small detour. Yeah, blocking things or watching, making sure they watch what you're looking at, I guess. So.
But not everybody cares about how data travels across the network. For those of us that have to support things when it doesn't work right, we're a little bit more aware of all of that stuff that's in between.
The complexity is sometimes just mind-boggling. Like, how does it know how to go routing through everywhere?
You're right.
And when somebody makes a little change and it doesn't work, they spend a lot of time fixing it. When there's a bad storm and a tree comes down and it takes out the fiber to your cell tower, to your phone office's DSL, you kind of understand it. But the rest of the stuff is hocus pocus.
Yeah, it's in some cases it's magic.
I mean, that's not.
And obviously,
that's not
you cannot let the smoke out of the box, or
No.
you lose everything. So that's for sure.
Also read that Parkersburg has a cable company. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
C-SPAN or something, and they announced that they were moving up to gigabit speeds for their home cable customers. And like wow, we always think of fiber to the home as being gigabit speeds in order to get that much data. Now the DOCSIS technology, which is what it's called, allows them to send not only the video signals for their digital video for their cable boxes, but also to do that for the data as well. So they're going to see a split of the data modems and going off to their hotspots and everything like that.
I just want to see the day, and it's got to happen, that our electric company gets involved into the internet, supplying internet.
That's been talked about.
It's been talked about, and it's just like the cable company provides internet. Somewhere along the lines, the electric companies, those guys have to.
Stuff.
They're going to have to get into this market, I think.
Did they try that here, or did it not go?
Well,
I know they had some connections.
There's an organization called the IEEE, and they govern internet standards, and they look at the engineering technologies. Cue the graphic. The internet, the IEEE Standard Associations. This is an international group of electrical engineers that look at not only the chips and technology to see what works and what doesn't work. It then goes through standard groups and task force groups, and it's global. They meet around the world.
Right.
When they looked at the Ethernet over power lines, what they found out was in order to transmit the frequencies overlapping onto electrical power, that because you have these lines going down all the streets, it radiates, and all of a sudden ham radio people were...
It's not like a line from here to
We're killing
there.
ham radio. So in order for making that work with the technologies that they could support now, that they lost that. And
it's more of a broadcast thing than it is a point-to-point.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've noticed it as we drive down the roads here recently, but they've done a real good job of cleaning out these right-of-ways on the power lines. And I constantly look at utility poles. It's a bad habit. But we've got big copper lines for telephones, sagging and falling over. There may be a time when we look at the FCC and others and saying, public utilities should work together, and maybe a thin fiber going below the power on the right height, down where the cable TVs and
Phones,
the communications are, and do fiber to the home, and get rid of all the copper, and recycle it for, I don't know,
a lot of money,
wind vanes and better things. But I don't think broadband over power lines is ever going to make it.
Don't think so. Well, even at that, they've got the towers there. They've got that whole line of sight, I guess you could say, from hill to hill. Couldn't they figure out some way to do wireless on top of their towers, and then provide it down into a local business?
When you look at your phone, do you see 3G or 4G?
It varies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're now seeing newer, faster series,
Mm-hmm.
LTE and others.
Yep.
And
Same way.
all these companies are always talking about the fastest, the most comprehensive network, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Wireless is one of those things that's going out there.
Yeah.
But, we use wireless in our homes and in our buildings.
Well, maybe you're talking more like JB Net's type of wireless.
Fixed wireless.
Yeah,
point
fixed
to point,
wireless.
which-
Yes, that's what I'm
which
talking
works.
about. Yeah.
I happen to live where the sun doesn't shine, and
There's a lot of people that live in that areas of the sun don't shine, or they're living between hollers.
The
or-
only thing that they
Yeah.
could get is HughesNet or something, satellite.
satellite. And I just don't see why that a internet company could not figure out a way to piggyback off of even a telephone company poles and say, look, give me a place to hang my antenna and I'll just do wireless up through there. But that's a whole other partnership thing that has to deal with. But
Liabilities and
Yeah,
things. What
absolutely.
if your line comes down and shorts theirs out?
shorts there. Yeah, I understand, and I understand it's a big deal. So, but more to come on that, I'm sure. Who knows? In another 10 years, it may be all different again, as it usually does with technology. But,
we had one of our frequent callers call in, Pat M. I hope you're listening today. She's really still concerned about electrosensitivity.
yeah, that's where I was going to lead next.
One of the things is
What kind of spectrum are you worried about that? Is it cell phone signals or
well,
wireless? or what?
I'm not sure if it is just Wi-Fi, and like there's a brand new standard of Wi-Fi 802.11ax. More data to your personal devices as soon as they start, supporting the 802.11ax standard. But this thing's got like 6 antennas on the bottom, on the top of it, and it's pumping out more information, more data into your home. But still, we have coming from cell phone towers. We've got all of that and microwave towers beaming things. You've got a JB Net signal pointed towards your house where you receive it, and now we have door locks.
Yeah.
And everything else. Well, when I was a kid,
There's waves all over us right now. It's crazy.
when I was a kid, I had an AM radio station not too far from the house, and my first filling used to pick up that radio station. Honest to goodness,
that
I'd have this song in my head,
Yeah.
and I'd think,
Literally.
oh man, I have it in my head. And I turned on the radio and it was playing, and I said, that's really cool. I have a will on the station.
Yeah.
But back to
You
this
never
caller,
played the lottery or something sometimes.
she's concerned that there are people that are documented to have a lot of sensitivity, and
do.
some of them have to carry cards, and they're talking about things that I'm electrosensitive, and I have to find environments where I am not exposed to a lot of different things. That the health effects are just still out there, and what we're looking at is whether or not they need to take measures to remove themselves from that. I think we have a picture of somebody who likes to protect themselves when they go to bed at night.
Really?
You ever heard the term of a Faraday cage?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
put a cage
imagine?
around 'em.
Well, it's also good for the Zika virus and not having mosquitoes.
Yeah, no
in
mosquitoes, I guess that word, yeah.
Yeah, I wondered if I was.
That's pretty cool, I like it.
I wondered if I had a problem with MRI because I had an MRI recently for my arm, and
Yeah.
there were some frequencies in the latter part of it that just made my heart race.
Really?
Did it?
I had to get
that's
out of there.
different.
I pressed the buzz like, let me out. I'm done. And then I was weird for another 2 hours afterwards. It
That's
was like
interesting.
I was lightheaded. I couldn't walk straight. It was terrible.
I just don't like being in those closed.
That either.
Yeah.
I freaked out the first time they put me in there.
But really, we know when we hold up a cell phone
Yeah.
that cell phone can affect us because
Well, I
it
don't
is close.
keep it on my person all day long. I put it
Okay.
on the desk because I think there's possible, radiation damage you could get. Maybe cancer, you put it in your pocket or put it in the same place every day. I'm not doing that. When I sit down, I take it out.
Yeah.
Mind if we take a break?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's take us a quick
Sound like
break.
a good thing.
Yeah, and we'll be right back. Welcome
And
back
we are
to
back.
Tech Talk. Yeah. We got Kingsley, Mike, Dwayne. We were talking about
Radiation?
all kinds of different waves and things. So,
I don't think it's a tinfoil hat
yeah.
type of situation, but tinfoil around your head would definitely protect you from yourself.
Well, yeah, you would think so, yeah.
My house, when we bought a Unibuilt, shameless plug, I guess, it had foil-backed drywall on the inside.
Yeah.
Now that is to reflect moisture and heat. and then we put foam board on the outside by the Tyvek
Oh, yeah.
wrapper inside the phone. So what that does to our house is pretty well eliminate the fact that you can get a cell phone signal in
Signal,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kills any service.
So-
Mine's aluminum siding.
Oh, congratulations
yeah,
there.
that
I
even-
like it, but you know.
But what's in is in and what's out is out.
Yeah.
So,
So,
the only
you've
thing
got a
we-
lot of wireless bouncing around in the house too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I guess it does bounce around and
Yeah.
reflect, but it's my wireless.
Right.
And you know, if I were concerned, and I'm holding my tablet to my chest because I'm sitting there reading a Kindle book or something, or I'm doing the same thing with my phone,
Yeah. Sure.
I am bringing that EMF, that electromagnetic, closer to my body.
I worry more about cell phone signal than I do Wi-Fi, because the cell phone has to have enough power to get a few miles away, where
Sure.
if your Wi-Fi is just kind of across the room, and it doesn't take that much power to get there. So the cell phone radiation is much higher.
And I don't want any of our listeners to get the idea that we're afraid of this stuff, because
No.
it's it's pretty obvious that we
We're-
live and breathe this technology, and we're
We're-
firm believers in it. You know, it's just that I haven't noticed nausea, headaches, migraines.
Right.
No,
you
me
know,
neither,
Bone
but-
joint things.
I would just not keep it on my body or my back pocket or whatever all day long.
Yeah.
That's
Well, plus I don't know if you've noticed it. If I put this in the pocket for very long, it seems to get really hot. So
Maybe it's just you.
that's why take it out and lay it out here and let it cool off. And it's just weird on some devices. If you even put them in a bag, a laptop, if you just put it to sleep or something, it just all that stuff just warms
Well,
up. So you
and
just,
the battery will get killed faster if you put it farther away from a cell phone tower, because
Right.
it tries harder to communicate with, the mother station or whatever you want to call it. So, in this building,
yeah.
it's not good because there's so much metal in the building.
Right.
So my battery dies faster here than it does at home.
And you have aluminum siding,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I recall.
Interesting.
I like it because
so-
it gets hit by hail and it just dents. It
Dents.
doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
You're the IoT wizard of the trio
Of
here.
things, yeah. Well, I hear
What's
you.
new?
I hear you're talking about a Roomba, a vacuum cleaner, being running around your house and possibly tracking things, but
Tracking things.
Well,
tracking.
if you remember our Christmas show,
maybe making your home
Yeah.
making a map for your home,
Oh.
if you would. So literally, the little guy cleaning the floor is giving
records all the
somebody a
bumps.
map that says, "Oh, there's the doorway over there versus over there," and you could do that. But yeah, we're always playing with different things, and I still been playing with cameras and stuff. So that's really the big thing.
The latest thing that I got into, which me and my wife just did, so we're guilty, was DNA.
Oh, really?
And yeah, they'll send you back your results, but do they sell those results to anyone else, whether it be health coverage
is
providers?
that 32andMe or whatever it is?
That's 23andMe.
23andMe.
Or
There's
we
various
did
ones.
Ancestry.
Yeah.
There's
I've got
Helix.
Ancestry.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I did.
There's various ones out there that are doing this. So.
Right. So that's
But
another.
yeah, that's a good question. Are they really
what
selling
are they
off
using?
information?
And
Just like
that's the only way it
LDL?
works, at least for them, to have a larger body of data to compare to.
Yeah.
At least for themselves. But what do they do with that information once they give them your DNA, which is your composition?
Yeah.
Are we going down that dangerous path of talking about who keeps our data and what they do with it?
Yeah, that's why I brought that up.
That's that whole cloud, right?
Was that a black helicopter out there?
Oh yeah.
I
What's
thi-
it called?
I think we're going to have to,
Yeah.
have a special show just on data
Paranoia.
security, data security
Yeah.
conspiracies on that, because
Well, you could talk for days on that stuff, on security alone, on where your data is, and is it really there, Well, just because you signed the thing says, "Yep, I agree to put your cloud there." Well, who knows where it is exactly?
I read every word of all of those agreements before
Do
I
you
click
really?
I agree.
Well,
You have no life.
You might be the only one.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's him. That's the one that reads them all the time.
Just like that. Like, what does this mean?
Yeah. I wouldn't get past the third paragraph.
Are we hypocrites?
Well, I would like to think not, but
Okay. Because, you know, in reality, we've bought into it. We're promoting this.
sure.
Yet we're the
Absolutely.
ones that are having second thoughts and reservations about it. And we bring it to everybody's attention on Tech Talk, but there's nothing we can do about it. You know,
This is the world we live
This
in.
is the world we live in. And I think we understand that it is beyond our ability to protect.
Right.
Don't you think, you know, Netflix wanted to protect their stuff, Sony,
Yeah.
HBO didn't
Yeah,
want,
so
you know,
they
Game of
didn't-
Thrones out there.
Right.
You know, Merck, you know, the pharmaceutical company, put in their earnings report that, you know, they had malware infections, and so they stated, well, this is part of the cost of business now.
Yeah.
I'm not so comfortable about that, but you know, it is a fact of life. As long as it doesn't happen to me, and they don't take my banking information or put up something that is incorrect about me. I don't want them to get into my LinkedIn account and
Yeah.
you know, putting up something bogus. But
Well, you know, that's we can only hope that never happens. But and again, that's us. You know, even though we're talking about this, we need to promote, you know, strong passwords, security, and that's, I think that's part of our job, is to tell people that, hey, this can happen. You
You know-
need to make sure to cover yourself.
You know what
You know,
gives me
if there's
some peace
something
of
really
mind?
secret out there, don't put it there.
Yeah. You know what gives me peace of mind?
Yeah.
Is all these terrorists who have done things, who have been on the watch list,
Yeah.
and they haven't done anything with that. So they have that information. They didn't do anything with it.
they're holding out for the
That's
big
So
one.
Yeah,
me,
that-
I'm
yeah.
not doing anything. So do I have anything to worry about? You
No, I'm not saying we don't have anything to worry about. It's just that, is there what kind of personal information do we have? Does it, if we put it out there, fill out a form that we agree to do Netflix or anything like that, a big box store, we get a credit card information, and now we're paying our bills online. Who could get into that and charge, and, you know.
We like cool things.
Yeah.
We like streaming media. We like mobility. I saw something today that at orientation for our international students, which
Yeah.
I've known about. I've used it, but it was kind of neat to see it. We have a number of students that have arrived this week from China.
Yeah.
Most, you know, they all speak English, but we have a password registration process that asks personal questions that they can save so they can do a challenge response
Yeah.
to get
To
cell
get their-
service.
Yep.
The funny thing is that we ask for grandfather's occupation. Now, we interpret that.
The job.
The students are, you know, like, what's this?
What's this mean?
And they go into their phones and they put that phrase, occupation, that word, into Google Translate.
Translator.
Job.
Job.
You know, work.
Work.
And
What
they
did
go,
they do?
so they go like that. When was the last time we used Google Translate?
I use it all the time.
You use it all the time?
Yeah, because I'm on Facebook with German friends.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I haven't
You know, so if I
looked
want to
at
wish
it, but
somebody
I've never used it on any
happy
basis.
anniversary, have a long life, or whatever, then
Yeah.
you know, I'll
You'll
do that.
translate it into that. Well, it's good for you. I don't know, as I know too many people
Now,
that are
I have
overseas.
no
They're
idea what
here.
they put in for their new password, but
Yeah.
we did, you know, take them through, and actually we've taken every single new student through a password change process. So we give them a strong secret password to get them started, and then we make it change.
They change it.
They change it.
Yeah.
They change it, and they can change it anytime they want through the password portal.
Interesting.
Set up their email, set up their wireless on their phones, set the time zone for their email so it's all Eastern Standard Time, and have a nice day.
And you went through hours of this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just mind-numbingly. But, you know, the better
Yep.
the better we do, the more time we spend onboarding new students, the fewer times they come into the help desk.
Yeah.
And, you know, that to me, it says, start them on a path of success so that now they're focused with their faculty and instructors on that part of it, and technology is transparent. It's supposed to be transparent.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Hey,
it shouldn't get in your way. It should help you out.
Yeah. I've got a little thing we're doing at our office that is, we'll be able to talk about next time, is a little project that I'm working on, is we're changing phone services from a PRI line, copper, into a VoIP system that's going to be coming across, all of our phone lines are going to be coming across
Let's do
internet.
VoIP.
Yeah.
Let's do VoIP. I'm excited about VoIP.
I think that'll be another good topic to talk about because it's a lot of people are doing this.
Do you provide consulting services for us?
Well, you know, I'd be glad to help whenever we could. So
Okay.
I'm always available
Yeah.
to help you out anytime, buddy.
It adds a lot of
Yeah.
features, I think, doesn't it?
It does, and in the meantime, I did some other things to help support us with some interesting little gadgets that you could buy at Walmart that does phone service for you. So-
Okay.
But I think we're out of time right now.
Yep.
So
Where does the time
all this
go?
will have to be next time.
Okay. So we'll see you next month on Tech Talk.